Look at me, I'm as tall as a Saturn V. Not really. Let's get on with the show. Hey folks, welcome to the show. Today we are going to capture network traffic using PowerShell. So we did it the other day with NetSH. I sent that out. I figured I'd show you some other ways to capture network traffic. There are some benefits to using PowerShell. Number one, it can be scripted. Number two, you can put it in a loop. You can look for events in the event log. There's lots of cool stuff that you can do with PowerShell. And capturing network traffic in your PowerShell script may be beneficial. Without wasting any of your time, there are three commands that are important. Number one is new-net event session, which I just highlighted. Number two is add-net event packet capture provider. And then, of course, number three is start net event session. And so there are parameters that you can pass with each of these commands, and we'll talk about that real quick. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set up a network capture in memory, and I want to create a handle to that, and that handle is really just a name. So new-net event session -name, and then the name that I choose. Now this can be anything. I defined it as net test. It doesn't have to be net test. You can name it whatever you want. And I'm also going to define a local file path here. So I'm going to do a -local file path c:\temp\capture. That's the directory we're going to stick this in. And then I'm going to pull the computer name in as an environment variable. And I'm also going to get date. And then I'm going to format that as day-hour, minute. And I'm going to name that. I'm going to include that in my file name. And the reason I'm doing that is because you don't want to have, first of all, you can't have multiple files in the same directory with the same name. And second of all, by including the time and date, it gives me a way to identify when the trace was taken, right? So if I'm capturing network traffic when a specific event occurs, I can look at the event log, figure out when that event occurred, go find the appropriate trace, just as an example. So once I've got that defined, I'll do an add-net event packet capture provider and then -session name, and I'll just reference the handle that I defined in new-net event session. I'm going to do a truncation length, and then I'll give it a value. You don't have to do this. Again, I do it because I don't really care about capturing the entire packet. If I'm troubleshooting a networking issue, I just care about the network headers. I don't care about the encrypted data, and all that data is going to do is take up room in the capture file, which makes it harder to move around if I need to send it to somebody. It also means that it's going to take longer to parse, etc. And so that's stuff that I don't care about and that I don't want to have to deal with. So I'm going to truncate it at 90 bytes. You can truncate it wherever you want or not truncate it at all. Any value between 0 and 1460 is fine as far as I'm concerned, or actually 1500 is fine as far as I'm concerned. And then once we get all of those parameters defined, we're just going to do a start-net event session, and then again reference the handle that we set up in new-net event session. So that's all there is to it. All you really need is these three lines to start a network capture. And I'm just going to paste them in here and hit enter. And you'll see that we're capturing. Now there's a lot of additional parameters that you can define here. And if I do a get help on any of these commands, let me just do one right now. And we will paste this in. And you can see that it gets you help. It'll define the syntax for each command. It'll give you a good description, give you some links that you can go look at. It'll give you some other related commands that you can use. So that's it. We're capturing. Now to stop the capture, there are a couple of things that we have to do. Number one is we have to stop the trace itself. So I do that by typing in stop-net event session, and IntelliSense works, -name net test. And did I have two T's? I did have two T's. So that stops it. And then now that it's stopped, I just need to remove it. So I'm gonna call remove net event session. Otherwise, I can't start it again. Dash name space net test and hit enter. And now my trace is completely stopped. And so if I navigate to my c:\temp\capture directory, which I pre-created, but again, you can do that in PowerShell as well, I'll have an ETL file there that I can open in Network Monitor and examine network traffic. That's it. This is a quick one. That's your ask for today. Thanks and have a great day.